Okay. Who can tell me what we did yesterday?
Oh, maybe.
Curtis, what did we do
Thursday.
yesterday?
Red Thursday.
Yes, what did we talk about yesterday?
Poetry and.
What about poetry? Do you remember? Do you want some help? Anybody like to help Curtis out?
Yeah.
Because I have
No, I
two
don't.
people that weren't here yesterday, so we need to kind of help them out. Liam?
Oh,
Okay.
Daniel.
Yesterday we worked on
Rhyme schemes.
rhyme schemes. Thank you. We talked about end rhymes, so our schemes at the end of each line, the word what? What did it do? Did it dance?
Rhyme.
It rhymed. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. The top one's A, the bottom one's B. A. A, B, A, B.
So what kind of scheme would that be called then?
B, A, B.
Okay, so an A-B scheme. All right, have a seat, Curtis. What I'm going to do, just to check to see if you remember this, I have a copy. All I want you to do, not the ones with the black box, but I want you to read the poem right here, and I want you to label that in the correct rhyme scheme. Okay?
Okay.
So Chris and Daniel, what we're talking about is that my dog can sit, my dog can run, my dog throws a fit, my dog likes to have fun. What word rhymes with sit, Daniel? Looking at the end words of each of these lines, which word rhymes with sit? Fit. So I started off labeling this my A line. Okay? So if sit rhymes with fit, then that's going to be an A line also. What word rhymes with run?
B.
Chris, if you look at my dog can run, my dog likes to have fun. Do those two words rhyme? So I would label those B. The A-B scheme comes from each line that has a new rhyming word is going to be labeled with a different letter. So we start with the first one, sit, so I'm automatically going to label it A. My dog can run, that's a new word, a new rhyme. So I'm going to have to label it B. So then I go, my dog throws a fit. Well, sit and fit rhyme, so that's going to be another A. Okay? So that's called an A-B scheme. Meaning line A and A rhyme and line B's and B's rhyme. Okay, just go ahead and keep a hold of that. We're going to talk about a different rhyme scheme now.
Cool.
Okay? We're going to talk about an A-B-B rhyme scheme. So what do you think that means?
3 rhymes.
So let's read the first poem here and let's get an idea, okay? Who wants to read the first poem, or the first line? Can you see that? Can you see that a little better now? Can you read that first line for me, Liam?
Basketball's my favorite sport.
Okay. We're going to focus in on the last word, okay? So remember sport. Okay? Daniel, can you read this second line for me?
A dribble up and down the court.
Okay, so let's look at the two words. Sport, court. Christopher, do those two words rhyme? They do rhyme, don't they? Sport, court. Are they spelt the same? No, but that doesn't matter. We're looking for the rhyme. So
What?
What do you think we should label that
What
as?
color?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, we
Liam.
should label it AA. Like the one A and then the other one A.
Okay, hold on. So you're telling me we should say this is A and this is A?
Yeah, because they
Is that
both
what you're
rhyme.
saying? They
Yeah.
both rhyme.
Uh-huh.
Good. Daniel, do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Christopher, can you read this? Can you see this from where you're at? Can you try to read this for me? I'll help you out if you need. Starting right here, where my finger is. Down. Toes. Does toes rhyme with quart or squirt?
No.
So would this be the start of a new rhyming scheme?
Uh-huh.
So what should I label that as then?
B.
B.
A B.
Okay, well let's read the last line then. Liam, can you read the last line for me?
And Beans, the teacher on the nose. Beans
And
probably
Beans,
means
the
hit.
And Beans, the teacher on the nose.
Probably means hit.
Yeah, it does, it does. So, toes, nose. Daniel, does that rhyme?
Yeah.
So what should I label this as?
B.
B?
B.
So do you see the AABB scheme pattern?
Yeah. So it's gonna be the same down there and down there.
Oh, I may have tricked you, because remember we've worked with ABAB and AABB. So we need to make sure that we read it. And actually this one, let's read
If that's
let's
A B A B.
let's do this one together because again I read it, I read it one way and in my mind it was that way, but then when I read it again and after I'd done this I realized it wasn't what I thought it was. So let's read the first 4 lines. I bought a balloon that weighs more than a pound. Remember the end rhyme, so we're focusing on the last word, right? So pound. So let's label this line with what?
A.
A. Okay. I can't make it float.
No.
Okay, does it rhyme with that one?
Mm-mm.
No. So Christopher, what should I label this line as then?
A B.
A B? Okay. All right, Liam, why don't you read this line for me?
It just drags on the ground.
What line does that one rhyme with?
A.
The A or the B line?
A.
Daniel says the A line. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Pound,
I
ground.
say Ceylon.
You say C line? We're gonna go with A. You know why I'm gonna put an A there, Christopher? Because pound and ground, what do they do? Do they rap? Do they rhyme? Rhyme. Okay, can you read this line for me, Christopher? I. Is it hard to read from where you're at? Drag.
It.
Long word. Behind. Wherever. We're focused on the end word here. Go. Does it rhyme with any of these words up here?
Float. This one's B.
No, it
I
doesn't.
say
It doesn't
no.
rhyme with any of them,
No.
so it's gonna be C.
Very good. That's really good, Liam, because we haven't talked about that. That is awesome. Do you understand, Daniel, why he put C there?
I have
Okay, so
A,
now,
B, C,
here we go. Here's the last loop.
F, G.
Daniel, read the last line here for
It wasn't the smartest decision. Why not?
me. No, what does no rhyme with in that? What we would call a stanza?
Go.
So what am I gonna label this as?
C.
Man, you guys are awesome.
A B A C C.
Is that completely different from anything that we've done up to this point?
Yes.
You guys do without me even having to teach you that. You know what? Here, you guys want to teach the lesson and I'll learn something from you?
Yeah.
You sure? Oh, Daniel. Sit out, sit out. Maybe here later.
Later sounds good.
Okay. I have a sheet of paper. And this is what I want you to do. This is a copy of this, what I have up here already. I want to see if you can do this middle poem on your own, and then I'm going to have you tell me what to write up there. Okay? There you go. So the middle poem, the one that starts with no one playing anymore. So this poem right here, I want you to tell me what I should label those, the lines, what the rhyme scheme is. Yes.
A.
Oh, don't tell me yet. Don't tell me yet. Make sure you read it because look, I tricked you down below. Okay, so what if you look at it? Okay. Okay, Curtis. We were just working on A, so basketball to the field, sports, and dribble up and down court. The ball goes bouncing off the toes. Lands the teacher in the nose. Okay, so what I want you to do this one, tell me what's going to be on this one. Just write it down here, and then you guys are going to tell me. I'm sorry.
No.
So, yeah. Okay, good. I know that 3 of you are done with it. Don't worry about Phil. And I'll explain. Okay. Let's look at the poem in the middle. Let me read it first. With no one playing anymore, I grab the ball, I shoot, I score. I love this game. It's so much fun. The teacher cried, but hey, we won. So let's look at the first line. With no one playing anymore. Who would like to tell me what they put on the first line and labeled it as?
A.
Hold on. If you raise your hand, I'll call him. Curtis,
B.
you labeled the first line as B? Okay, can you explain why? Okay. Does anybody have another answer or a different answer? Liam, what do you have?
A.
A. Why did you start with A? Do you know why?
Because
Because
they're both
Because the bottom one rhymes the anymore. Score and anymore
Okay.
line.
When you're working with rhyming schemes, because the schemes can get very difficult, you're always going to start, kind of like when you start counting, you start with the number 1, 2, 3, 4. With an end rhyming scheme, you're always going to start with A. Because you could end up into the D's, E's, F's, and G's by the time you're done. So you'll always start at the very start of your, they call this a stanza. You will always start with the first letter A. Okay, Daniel, what did you label the second line? I grab the ball, I shoot, I score. What did you label it as?
A.
A. Why did you label it A and not B?
Because score is like lines with anymore.
Good. Can anybody put their thumbs in the air if they agree with Daniel? Yeah, good. Okay, well, let's look at the third. I love this game. It's so much fun. Christopher, what'd you label our third line with?
B.
B. Why did you pick B? Why did you pick B?
Because they don't rhyme like the other ones.
Okay, so it doesn't rhyme with more or score?
Yeah, both of them don't.
Yeah, so this is the start of a new end rhyme, isn't it? All right, so let's see, Curtis. Oh, first off,
Wait, I
check and
didn't
see.
get to do one.
if you agree with Christopher, everybody stand up. If you put B there, stand up. I see 3 out of 4. Daniel, what did you put? What did you put on the third line?
A B.
Can you stand up for me to show me? Christopher, since you have the, you know what to read. Good, awesome, we're on the same page. Everybody's have a seat. The teacher cried, but hey, we won. Who haven't I called on here yet? Daniel, what'd you label my last line with?
B.
B. Why did you pick B?
Because it rhymes with toe.
It rhymes with what?
I mean, I'm with fun and one.
Fun and one, those two.
Hi, in the video that you just watched, I'm in a classroom that's usually 6 students. It's an emotional behavioral disorder classroom. It's a specialized classroom. There was only 4 students in there at the time. The others weren't there. We were working on end rhymes and rhyming schemes. I had planned on, if I wouldn't have been videotaping, I would have had them come up to the board a lot more. But since I couldn't do that, because as soon as I turn around and go to the desk, you would see their face, what I did is I made copies of what I had on the board and had them put it on their desk, and then that way they could still mark on their sheet as we marked on the board. As I watched the video, I don't think I ever specified that to them, but I noticed that they were doing it as we went along. They've been really interested in poetry, so as far as them disengaging, I haven't had any of that. They've been really into it. I felt like they were engaged for the most part. I know it started off slow. It was a lot of me. Our district uses the me, we, to, you. There was a lot of me into that, but as you noticed as I got into it, I had them take one of the stanzas and then they had to fill it out on their own, and then what I had them do is then I had them tell me what to write up there on the board. Just that way I could check for understanding and see that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. So again, if I wouldn't have been videotaping, I definitely would have had a higher level of engagement in that fashion. It is a little more difficult to get the you can get engagement in this classroom, but again, I have to be kind of careful because of the emotional behavioral issues. Sometimes it's kind of hard to get them engaged. It just kind of depends on their mood for the day and how their day's going. So you kind of got to be a little careful with that and feel it out. But I think for the most part, I really felt that they were engaged. They were answering the questions that I asked them, and they did a really good job with that. As you saw, I had one student that got up and left during it. He needed a sensory break. So I apologize for that when you saw the face and everything. Other than that, I didn't think anything arose from what I could see when I was watching it and as I was teaching. I didn't see any challenges that I really had that arose. There was one student when I asked a question, he was slow to answer, but he did answer eventually, which I knew that would just take a little bit of time. That wasn't a problem. Looking forward into the future on this, I really like the setup that I had. Maybe not spend so much time as far as going through and checking. You know, at the beginning I did do a little bit of ARK where I had them go back and look at the other rhyming scheme that we worked on the day before. But maybe cut out a little bit of the talking that I did, and again, I would have them come up to the board and show me the example. Or do more of the do it here on your paper and then let's talk about it and have them come up and do it. Or maybe I could have had them answered on the sheet, and then have one person go over to another and whisper in the ear what they put, and then I could ask for the response of what they gave them. So going into the future, I don't think I would change much about that lesson other than having them go up to the board and actually doing it on the board, other than on the paperwork there itself. But overall, I was very satisfied with what they did, and then the work that I gave them to do all turned out excellent. They did a great job, and as